All right, all right, all right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU, band culture, music education, and more. Go ahead and hit the like daddy. I ain't said that in a while. Hit the like daddy. Go ahead and subscribe, turn on notifications, do all the things. Also, don't forget you can go into our store and get anything for 30% off of your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band, and the Fuel Your Passion Scholarship Fund is still up and running. And so all of that information is inside of the description. Let's go ahead and jump into this because it's been a long time since we have all been in the room together. I'm going to start with the person we ain't seen in like 2 months. Posha, how you doing?
Oh man, I'm good. I can't complain. Um, yeah, I can't complain. Everything's all good. How about y'all?
We good. We good.
I won't complain. There we go.
Put me in B
Yeah, I
flat.
mean, I've been traveling, working. I'm done with recruiting, all of that. So
Recruiting for the Legion.
for the Silkesh, yeah.
I'm about to say, who's she gonna be recruiting for? Is somebody else you
No,
working with? Who you working with? You got
no. I'm
you
saying
in
like,
Howard now?
I didn't know if that was like a job.
Oh
She could
no,
still. I don't know if that was.
no.
Okay,
I'm
all
done.
right.
Yeah, recruiting. So we're gonna be bigger. So if everybody
You got the
makes it,
20. You got the 20. You got the
I
20.
told, I told you 20 wasn't an option for
I
me.
know, but you
Okay.
said we bigger.
We are bigger. It is 16 of them.
Come on, add four. All you need is an extra
Four.
four.
That's a squad. What's four? Nah, I'm with
No,
Julian on
no.
this.
Mm-mm.
That's
Y'all coach
crazy.
it.
I'm not a
What?
flag coordinator.
Me neither.
Hey,
If you
what's
get,
Oh,
if it's
I don't
20,
want to hear that.
what's the biggest the Silks ever been?
when my rookie year, it was 20 of us. I'm trying to think if they were ever been bigger than that, but yeah, I don't. My rookie year was 20, but it was only 16 spots on the field, thanks to Dr. Zachary. So it was four people who were not out there every week. We had to battle for those spots. So
So,
yeah,
question: how many y'all had on the field when y'all went to Honda?
that's the only performance where there were actually 20 out there.
Y'all, hey, to this day, we really need to do a ranking show of like the top 10 best field shows.
Honda's
That's an
number
idea.
one from Norfolk. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Matter of fact, I'm not even apologizing. Honda is number one for Norfolk.
Anthony Phillips said they had
I don't know.
24 and 91. So
Okay, so but nah, can I say this? But I'm talking about of all time. So if I could be honest, that's top five of all time. That's a top five show of all time
Honda's
across
number one.
HB,
I've
across
seen some.
HBC.
Right, that's fine. I've seen some great shows. Don't get me wrong. I have seen some super dope shows. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I have not seen a show from top to bottom, energy, song selection, crowd participation. Like there have been some great shows that I've seen that started well and it may have a lull in the middle, but then it picked back up. Like there was no lull anywhere in that show. And
you're
I
gonna make
and
me
and
feel
that's not a
bad.
biased thing. I'm just saying from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of shows, that to me is number one.
I would say put like this. One of my favorite shows, and I'm gonna go real old. Is I won't know the exact year, but it's when FAMU debuted Getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of them older ones. That's like one of my top five. But I would, if I had to rank it, and we really should do it almost like a 106 and Park show. We're talking. Come on, see that's an idea right there. But I feel like your that show right there, and not only I experienced it. I ain't gonna lie, that I was in the back and we was like, God damn, like we gotta go after this. That would made it worse. But peace be unto him, Prof Edwards was like, hey, they playing. Like he was like that. Directors was in the back was like, I don't know what they trying to prove, but like they if y'all would have got if there was a trophy or adjudication, y'all would have won Honda. Real talk. Y'all would have won Honda.
I
You
mean,
give credit where credit.
if it wasn't a showcase, I agree. If we would have,
Y'all would've-
if they would have kept the judging going the way that they did in Cat that year when everybody voted, we would have gotten that vote.
Yeah,
Like,
y'all was on.
let's just keep it a buck. I agree with you, Zach. NCAT's Bad Boy Show was actually really good.
Yeah, that was a good one too. That was a good one too.
I remember it was a Southern Fam show.
The one in Atlanta.
I can't remember where it was. What I remember in the dance routine though, they hit the joint where they fell on the floor, and then they did the little heartbeat joint. That I remember that. That was a good show.
I think that was 9-5.
Yeah, that was
I
a
think it was
good one.
9.
So I mean, there's a lot of good shows out there. Again, I don't take any credit from away from anybody or anyone's show, but and again, it's not me being biased. It's really because I just haven't seen a show to me that has given me that type of energy from top to bottom with no misses in between. Like, and shout out to Janique for singing And I Am Telling You, because I remember that night. Dang near almost every band, not every band, but close to every band did And I Am Telling You. And when I tell you, all of them were misses except for Janique, I was like, ain't nobody gonna sing this one right? Like, nobody's gonna sing it right? Like, so yeah, I'm not trying to hate. I'm just being honest. So yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was like back to where we was like, oh my god, because Dreamgirls had just came out.
Yeah.
So I think Clark did it. Who else did it? Basically, everybody did it.
How long you couldn't even really hear them? I don't know what was going on. It was some interesting stuff happening, but
yeah, I remember that. It was again, not being biased, just saying. Yeah. Like even, what do I do? Mm-hmm. I never heard Do I Do played like that, and I was in there. And looking back at it, I've never heard Do I Do played like that.
And you know what's crazy is that when they told us, I was a rookie, but when they told us that song, we was like, Do I Do?
Exactly. We was like, really? Did Stevie? Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
And that joint rock. I mean,
it turned out to be like amazing, but we was all like, Do I Do?
Yeah. Shout out to Paul Adams.
Yeah, Mr. Adams thought of that.
When them trombones had marched down that field, like in that bell front, the very, very beginning, we was like, damn. Like when y'all turned and did Behold, you got to realize I'm still a crab. I ain't even crossed yet. I crossed right after y'all, matter of fact, on the field at Honda, we crossed. And when y'all turned and opened, they was like, y'all better hit this feature. Cause like, I'm talking about every band person in the back, admitted or not, we was back then was like, who are these? Cause we never heard of y'all. We never heard of y'all. And it was live. It was live.
Yeah. And I mean, and like rightfully so, right? Like, I remember being, I remember being a guy. This was my last performance. I'm from Houston. I know PV's gonna be there, and as a Houston person, I know that I had never heard of Norfolk before I went to Norfolk. So in my mind, we do got something to prove. We do have a chip on our shoulder because we have to be able to put a staple in who we are.
Right, and then it was some situation or something that happened where I don't know, my glasses look weird. It's like a reflection or something. Where FAMU was supposed to come or something, or somebody else was supposed to come and they couldn't. Mm-hmm. So we ended up getting the invite. And so people was talking junk to us. And we didn't take that very well. We didn't like that.
I don't even remember that. I don't remember that at
all. They were saying little stuff like y'all only here because I think it was Fam couldn't be here, and okay. No doubt.
But can I say this though? Y'all experience was different, but if I'm gonna just be genuine at that time, and this is from just me, if you could have experienced Fam when Fam was Fam,
pre-Robert,
Yeah, bro. If I could be honest, it's almost like Dr. William P. Foster like prayed over that band and was like, my spirit gonna stay over it. They had, I think one year, no lie, it might have been, it looked like 17 snare drums. And when you heard pat, 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 it's like you felt it. Like it was something different. That was my freshman year, and they closed the show. So it could wait. They had to be there that year because they
They
closed
weren't
the
there.
show.
Bethune was there that year.
Bethune was there.
Whatever the time
Bethune
I
closed the
crossed.
show.
Well, I remember experiencing fam in person at Honda,
Mm-hmm.
and I only been to 2 Hondas,
So it
and
had
one
to
of
be
them,
the
yeah. So it's like when I heard it though, I was like, my God, like you felt it. That's a different type of experience, bro. They're like when fam was fam though. So no slight to y'all, but fam was
No,
a
No,
I
different.
don't.
I mean,
I don't
I'm
take
not.
slight for that because I can tell you
No,
this. I fell in love with fam. Well, I think it was 05 or '06 Honda. Listen, because that was back in the day when KK Psi and Tall Bay Sigma used to have their own seats and own section, and it was a sea of blue and all that kind of stuff. So I was sitting like near 50-yard line when they opened up with the Chicago Bulls fanfare,
Oh yeah,
and they
like
came from that sideline, boom, 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 and they just marched out. And as soon as they turned around, dog, I still get chills right now thinking about that. Because that open up it was so full. I was like, yo, I ain't never heard nothing like this before. Ever.
yeah, bro.
yeah. I mean, my thing was we didn't choose this, but we gonna show y'all. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but y'all did y'all thing, boy. I mean, we did put like this. You know how when the camera pans, it was somebody they had showed them their mug, and people was in the background, PV, other people. We was like, oh, everybody had gave him the stank face because I'm talking about mugs on me, and like somebody had tapped me and was like, hey, they glazing over there, and I was like, they gotta be. Look at them, like real talk. I ain't seen no band like that in my life until that time. I ain't gonna lie. I give credit where credit is due, and it's crazy. It's full circle that y'all was on that field, but yeah, bro, that was a field show to remember.
Yeah.
For real.
Last show for me was definitely a field show to remember.
I don't even remember it, honestly. I remember going out, getting in my spot, going to parade rest. I remember Hup, and then I remember down Clamp Boom.
That's how I
do
know.
not remember anything in between.
That's how I know you don't remember. Do you remember what we changed?
I know we at the high school.
No, the moment before we got on the field.
No.
See, that's how I know you don't remember. All right. So, fun fact: a lot of people don't know this. So, because we were going to Honda, we were trying to plan to do things that were similar to everybody else. So the idea was to march onto the field. We had never marched on the field before, ever.
I remember that.
So
now.
we had been practicing from Norfolk to the high school. I think we was at MLK, I believe, that we practiced at. We had practiced marching on the field and then doing the show. We got to the show, and in the tunnel, I think Kuan came up to us and was like, hey, man, how do y'all feel about this marching on the field? And we was like, it's
That ain't
trash.
us.
And he was like, we just gonna do us then. We gonna run on the field like we always do. And we literally ran on the field and did our normal entrance like we always did.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I remember.
I was nervous as I don't know what though. I'm telling you, I remember coming up to attention and then bowing at the end. That's it.
Do I remember anything in it? Yeah, only reason I remember the show itself is because as a screamer going out my last year, I left my mouthpiece at the school.
Ooh.
I had to borrow a mouthpiece from Rick. So the mouthpiece that I played on, that performance was not my usual mouthpiece. And I was like, all right, I still got to pull this off. So, between when we got to the high school and was practicing to the actual day of the show, by the time I got to the show, I had broken that bad boy in. I was peeling paint back after that. But no, that's the only reason why I truly remember the show, because I remember having to adjust myself to that mouthpiece for that one performance. So
You know, it's crazy. All of us, like what you talking about, Portia, when you say like you blanked out. I did a 30-page paper. That was my final. It's called Flow. And it's like you only get into that mode when you hyper focus. And it's a thing in band, sports, or whatever like that, where it's basically you're so locked in to where you've done it so much to where it's almost like time stops.
Yeah. My body I was so like nervous and overwhelmed. I think my body went into autopilot and was like, girl, you have done this over and over and over. Just roll with it. And I really don't feel like I came back to like the moment until we bowed, and then I heard the crowd and I was like, oh my God, it's over already. I don't know. I didn't mess up. I didn't do anything, but I was not conscious like in my normal thought process in that moment. So
yeah, that's how I was from first Labor Day Classic. Yeah, my very first one. Yeah.
All right, we didn't start it out there. I mean, there was a lot of places we could have went with that, because we were definitely talking about something off air, but I don't know if we're gonna bring that up later. But outside of that, first of all, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We had the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe button for this conversation that we're gonna have today. Don't forget, you can get 30% off your purchase. You can check out our store and you get 30% off that purchase if you just type in promo code HBCU band. I actually want to take time to give them their flowers, whether we know it or not, or whether everybody's been behind the rock, so on and so forth. It was something interesting that just happened not too long ago. Southern University not only got a grant, which was dope, but they also didn't they get an Emmy? Didn't they get the Emmy? If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
I think they did.
Let's check this out real quick. I think I got the sound off. There we go.
Of the 2024 Coca-Cola HBCU Sports Production Grant, The Hidden Sport, from the Southern University and A&M College. Congratulations.
Seeing Southern's marching band is simply entertaining. It creates an added atmosphere to what we already consider HBCU culture. What's going to an HBCU football game without a band? Number one thing people ask from the home school, if you're the visiting school, y'all bringing y'all band?
That's dope.
Yeah, so yeah, that is definitely dope. And one of the things that I was excited about, anybody can be like, yo, why I got to be Southern or so on and so forth. Listen, having the story told to me is what's important, right? It doesn't matter to me where the story comes from. It's where we, if the light is shine on what we do, then I think that's what's most important. And then to be able to see or receive the grant on top of that, man, I think that's super dope, man.
Yeah, and I think, I haven't watched it, but it's on my to-do list this weekend when I have some downtime. But I think it's awesome. They're calling it out. We've been saying for years it's a sport. The amount of time, the amount of physical activity, what it takes to get you in shape to be able to perform 7, 8, 10, 12, 15-minute shows is tedious. It requires physical conditioning. And so
on August,
it is a sport. And so I'm happy that, that light is being shined on it, and hopefully people will start paying more attention to it.
Well, damn, Julian.
Right.
I don't even know how that. I don't know why that ended up happening. But go ahead. My bad.
I'm gonna say this though, and look, we kind of had this conversation off. One thing I'm gonna say about this, people listening, we're genuinely friends and we look out for each other. So we be having random conversations on the side. And one of the conversations that me and Luke had, we was like, who are like some of the goats of band directors, right? And of course, we said Dr. Griggs, William P. Foster, but I have to say this because I feel like if he didn't have this creative idea, I don't think they would have received that grant nor that Emmy. And we got to give shouts out to Nathan Hamer. And the reason why I say that is for this reason. Whatever you may feel about Prof. Hamer, he has revolutionized how people document their band program. I don't believe Southern University in reality him and Garrett set the standard for the media teams when it comes to a specific school or university. They're the standard, honestly, and they set the bar, and everybody honestly try to imitate them, no pun intended, or duplicate what they've been doing for years, having their own page, now with this documentary, the way they market themselves for Battle of the Bands and other things like that. Man, nobody else wasn't doing that. And not to mention when they had videos with PJ Morton, the Jonas Brothers, like so forth and so on. And I know other band programs have performed, like shout out to South Carolina State. They did the video recently with Boots on the Ground. But
super dope opportunity.
You gotta give flowers what flowers do. I don't think Southern University would be in this limelight if it wasn't for Nathan Hamer and his vision when he took over the helm to start that media team. And they were going to promote themselves in that manner. And if we're going to be keep it 1,000, they wouldn't have gotten to, in my opinion, an invitation to the Rose Bowl. And they possibly wouldn't have gotten another invitation. Well, I can't say that about Super Bowl because they've been doing it for years. But other things that they've done comes from that media team. So give them people their props, man.
Yeah, I don't disagree with nothing you said. I definitely would say shout out to Garrett, because I definitely agree with you. Because again, Kuan said that we had this conversation offline and whatever, but the truth of the matter is that when he brought up Nathan Hamer, it really didn't process for me until he broke it down, right? But let's be real. Videography now in band is because of what Garrett started. Like most bands now have to have a media team. Like have to. Otherwise you're going to get lost in the sauce.
And I was going to say, and the ones that don't, it's not good for their brand. It's not good for their recruitment. It's not good for the program overall.
Correct. It's like now when you think about, marching bands, HBCU bands specifically, like they're like when they put information out, they're looking for student media team. Like it's a thing now. And and Kuan kind of brought it up, like, and I said it too, like back in the day, we had Steve, we had Gig Steve, you know what I'm saying? But that was for VHS. And the only reason why we had that is because we needed to review the show from the last week where Doc would come in with his little pointer daddy and we start looking at the video, but it really wasn't for full consumption of the world until we put the season DVD together at the end, or during my time a season VHS, and then it eventually morphed into a season DVD. But that was it. So I definitely agree, that Garrett deserves his flowers. I agree that Nathan Hamer deserves his flowers, because the truth of the matter is Nathan Hamer single-handedly changed the culture of HBCU marching band. Let's keep it a buck. Like when we think flamboyant band directors within the camera, all of those particular things, like Crankfest and all that didn't really start until like Nathan Hamer.
Well,
no,
I'll wait. Well, I say it like this: Mr. Jackson was a character.
He was. I'm not saying he wasn't.
So if you look at the documentary, I feel like this. I feel like Prof Hamer came at the right time, but his previous predecessors, they were doing it too.
They set the tone, but the thing about it is Nathan added the camera in front of it. Like Nathan Hamer became like, you know,
Personality,
the standard, almost.
Almost like a personality.
Yeah. Like, because like him not in front of the camera is not the same guy.
Not.
You know what I'm saying? So he created that persona of, you know, when the cameras are on, that's who we need. That's who I need to be in order to be able to gain or garner attention and to sell the product. And that has now, for the most part, become a standard. Like when you look at these battles and so on and so forth, you know, when you look at like Justin's video, band directors in the camera, hyping it up, so on and so forth, like that became a thing. So I definitely give, you know, I agree with you. I definitely give all the props to Nathan Hamer.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'll close with this. It really was a few schools that really had a media team that was popping. But I must say, Southern University, it used to be like humanjukebox.com, and they used to have audio clips.
Yep.
And then they backdoor, and they would sell you seasoned DVDs, because I remember I was dating a young lady, and that was literally my Christmas gift. And it was literally burned DVDs from season like 03 to like 08. And I still got them DVDs. That's crazy. And the opening video was Jay-Z, "Show me what you got, little mama." It's crazy. It's like, but that was the ish. Oh, I had NCAT DVD with Chuck on there. And that's when I first learned about East Coast, when y'all did gym battles with sectionals. I didn't know nothing about that, like, either. And that's when I first heard about Norfolk, V-State, you know, and so forth.
Hold on, wait. You had a NCAT season DVD, or you had an NCAT battle?
Now I got an NCAT season. You got to realize, when I got that band bug after I got out of trouble, I was calling schools and I was like, "Hey, Kuan, how can I get some information?" And it was like, "How you hear from us in Louisiana, in New Orleans?" They were sending me DVDs. So I got that's why, remember we was talking about, I said this NCAT that we listening to now is not the one that I originally heard before they went through their transition, because in my opinion, they was more swaggish. They remind me of TSU because they was playing Torture.
Yeah. I mean, I've said that on multiple occasions, right? Old A&T is not the A&T that we got today. The A&T, and I told this on the phone, I said this on the phone with Kuan. The A&T that I came into reminded me so much of being in the SWAC space that it felt great for me when we played them. It felt like home. You know what I'm saying? Looking at, and this is not to take away from the way A&T is now, but even when I saw that A&T Southern battle, bruh, I was like,
that 03? Yeah, that 03 battle? Yeah.
I remember that, because I was like, dog, A&T is kind of getting into Southern.
They won. Like, people won't admit it, but they won.
They did.
They won that.
They did. In that the one where they made that huge mistake, Southern messed up and they had to start over?
Exactly, that one.
Yeah.
They won. They won. They won. Let's keep it a thou wow. They won.
As she sips her tea, like, yeah, Norfolk ain't never lost.
Norfolk with the dub.
I ain't gonna say we took a W every time.
Nope.
We did not.
There's one very distinct L in my mind.
I remember it. I remember it.
It's one.
It was against A&T.
A&T.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
What year?
It was 09?
No, that was the get back. It was 08.
It was
my last year.
Yeah. And what's crazy is we seen them we seen NCAT in 07 in LA and smashed them.
Yeah. They had their ups and downs, but yeah, 08. And it wasn't, let me be clear, it was not they were a better band than us. Their song selection that night was top. It was
great.
Yeah. I mean, they was batting 1,000 and we had 10. like their song selection, they continuously got better in what they played in response to us.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that they were a better band, but song selection matters. Like that matters.
I ain't gonna lie.
And
09 Norfolk Dirty Diana. Yeah,
now I'm gonna tell you, we
Yeah.
took a L to them in 08. But that Get Back in 09 was on a whole
That was the
different
one where we went to
level.
A&T, right?
Yes. God.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
the
I
game
remember
was
that.
a Thursday night.
Yeah.
And the battle
And
was
the battle
a
was
Friday.
a Friday.
Man, listen.
Yeah, they caught all kind of foots.
Listen to me. That Get Back was crazy.
I remember that.
Hey, y'all put like this, and that's why I hate to go back to the East Coast. I mean, not East Coast, but swag MEAC division aspect. But I ain't gonna lie, we really didn't appreciate y'all eclecticness on the East Coast as we should have. In all sincerity, now I'm a band director musician now. Y'all was playing Spanish songs with Latin descent. Now we didn't like y'all go-go dance drum parts all the time. But for example, I think it's 09. What's that Spanish song y'all played where the trumpet was having all them runs, Julian?
God dang it. Are you talking about, it could be Malagueña?
Malagueña or Camino Real.
It could be Camino Real.
Pick that one.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, they wasn't playing that in the South. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think during that time, we were so hood rich, a hood mindset, hood mentality. Like we was like, we're gonna play, blow that. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like we weren't playing that because honestly, a swag battle was almost like written. It was like unwritten rules. You play a march, I'll play a march. You play, getaway, something like that, I'll play getaway. You gonna play below something, we play. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. Y'all, for them gym battles, y'all really was playing, bro. Like, so you know what I'm saying? The one that y'all just named, like, we didn't appreciate that. Like, I'm just thinking about it. I gotta pull out them DVDs, man.
So I wanted to continue with the GOAT conversation, but you talking about something that's really interesting. Because you're not wrong. One of the things as a person from the South that surprised me, I mean, don't get me wrong, I went to the Ridge, so there was a different level of musicianship and so on and so forth that I got being at Willow Ridge, and that's one of the reasons why I went to Norfolk, because I found them to be very similar. But you're right, because that was my first gym battles. That was my first experience of it, and walking into it, it was just kind of like, yeah, this different. I even just breaking the sections apart. You get to let us battle, and now it's not just about who's loud, but it's actually about right, like quality of sound, clarity, and the thing that I liked about at least our gym battles, and I would probably say A&T too. While there is a biasness in the room, they still gonna let you know whether it was good or bad.
Yeah, it's good or it's not.
Yeah, like Norfolk. Like that 08 year, we wasn't getting a lot of love, and A&T actually was. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Was that the year they played Kiss from a Rose, by the way?
I don't know.
I gotta go back and find it. It was all good.
It was all, it was better than ours, selection wise, yes.
So I'm gonna also say
it just
this.
Was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, I'm not. It was.
So I'm gonna also say this. So Zach put Morris Brown College in the chat, right? So I want to quickly talk about Morris Brown and one of the reasons why I want to talk about Morris Brown is because I just introduced drumline to my oldest daughter. She's a percussionist, and I was like, and she just turned 13, so now she can legally watch PG-13 movies. But she, asked me a couple of questions about Morris Brown, and just watching the movie kind of brought back some memories, so on and so forth. Morris Brown was one heck of a band. The sound that they put out, the eclecticness within their program, and their tuba section was monstrous. If you had never heard Morris Brown's tuba section in person. It was an experience. And I heard them in '02 when they came to us. The fact that, '01 got to go to the stadium and had that like 30-minute long fifth quarter, that when it comes to Legion, that is like legendary. That one fifth quarter is legendary because their story is we played everything in our book down to the warm up. That's how intense that battle was. But shout out to Moby, man, because that was one heck of a band program, and to this day, a lot of people are asking for that program to come back. And I'm not saying it probably never will or whatever. It would be a dope thing if it did. I just don't know if it'll ever be what it was when it left out. So
Yeah.
So just for both of y'all, I'm just going diverting a little bit, but you think FAMU will ever be like that was?
No.
Why? What's the difference? They got because think about it. They have a FAMU band director. All the band directors are FAMU, right? Mm-hmm. They march under Dr. William P. Foster. What's the difference then? They have a beautiful sound.
So
I mean,
this is my personal opinion. I think there are remnants of what they were, but I don't think it'll ever be what it was. And the reason why is because there's a disconnect in there, right? There's a space and time where what was is gone. Because I think they were only gone for like a year. I think last time we had this conversation, a lot of people corrected me, right? They were only gone for like a year, but when they came back, it was not what it was when it left, and it took a while for them to even get to where they are. In that time frame, so much band changed that whole level of what it was, that disconnect is so gone. Like people were like crazy to go to FAM at one time, right? But now it's like people are crazy to go to like Jackson. People are crazy to go to other places besides FAM. And so a lot of that, outside talent that you would get from other places, so on and so forth, they're not going to FAM. And that's not to say that what they're teaching is wrong or bad, but it just, that disconnect, in my opinion, it'll just never be the same.
I think some of it is not internal. Some of it is external. I feel like people wanted to be a part of a program that was, to Kuan's point, playing difficult pieces, prioritizing things other than cranking and stuff like that. Well, that's not really sought after anymore. So at least not on the scale that it was when they were at their prime. So I think that some of it is a shift in what people see as important or desirable when they're searching for schools.
You articulated that very well, but I think they're just the new trend. J-State is the new trend because the last song they played, they had a lot of chromatic runs, and it was one of their again, Nathan Hamer, their band session clips. Like he did that too. Like he was not to jump from back and forth, but Nathan Hamer was the first one to take cameras inside of a band hall for band practice and then show you what they was doing. I think they were doing that right before COVID, and people was looking at it during COVID. It was like their band sessions, and then you've seen other people do it. But going back to the topic, is like, I just feel like Jackson State, they're the new trend. It's like Southern had their run damn near 30 years. And then FAMU had the East Coast. But now this is a Jackson era. Like, we can't argue with that. And their recruiting methods, even from Georgia Mass Band, how a lot of those kids, they attend Jackson themselves. So I know that influence is there, because if you listen to Georgia Mass Band, they kind of sound Jackson-esque, in my opinion. So I just think new wave.
So the problem is I think you're right, but I also think it's a little bit wrong. So first of all, going to the Georgia Mass Band, I was just talking to Rick about this yesterday. It is so crazy to me that the mass band that is labeled for the city of Georgia sounds nothing like the bands that are from Georgia, right? Like if you put together a true Georgia mass band with people or that quote unquote Georgia sound, it would sound more like Fam than it does Jackson.
But but the question is, would that be because of our era? Because we're thinking, because I've listened to some of them schools, bro. They don't. It's
now
like
they don't. No, now they
it's,
don't. But yeah, so
it's
you're
like,
right. I would say that's our era because a lot of those Georgia guys did come from Fam back in the day. So you
yeah.
got
So
a point to that. There's a point.
so yeah. So it's almost like the Stevensons and I mean Southwest DeKalb still gonna sound like Southwest DeKalb.
Yeah, they gonna do it.
But I just think it's a shift in the area.
I don't think
what I'm
it's
saying?
the area. I really believe that it's just again. I truly believe that when they went down, the band culture itself shifted. So I wouldn't even say it's just the Jackson. It's just the Jackson era. I just think that the culture itself is completely different. What
Yeah.
people were looking to hear and looking for, during that time, because there was that separateness of sound that people would vie for on both sides. People ain't really looking for that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's just period. Like even when we think about Norfolk, like Norfolk, let's be real, from a field show perspective, everybody gives Norfolk props. They ain't really getting a lot of love when it comes to stands. Mainly also because we don't got a lot of stuff out there. We don't play a lot of people that people want to see. But still, I don't think that we get a lot of props from a stands perspective. We get a lot of love from the field perspective. But from a stands position, that's the era that we're in right now is stand heavy. So if you're if you're not specifically gearing your program to be stand strong, quote unquote, you kind of get, lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're talking about, Fam has moments, but they were a really, really, really great field show band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not the focus anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then too, look at the numbers. Look at the history. Look at honestly, Fam was the first band that, in my opinion, they gave it to you all. They gave exciting field show, different picturesque. They was gonna sing, like the band was gonna sing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we needed a singer to come out. They gonna sing.
Right.
And then when you did have a singer come out, it would be one of them in the uniform with the megaphone, from Order My Steps to, We Fall Down. Like it was them. Like they gave you the full, gambit of it. I mean, yeah. But
no, I was gonna say, yeah, it's just a different era, man. That's just
what's
what
cool is different now.
yeah. But yeah, and going back to our conversation we was kind of having offline, that's why I kind of like we're like in the tweener stage, because like we get where things are now with stands, but we do remember the golden era of like a field show of like Prof Ed used to be like, I want butt kicking playing and I want to leave it on the field, and that was the real winner, is to create this pageantry on the field. Now a lot of field shows are watered down. If we're just gonna be honest.
Lackluster.
And now we're but in all fairness, we see more creativity in arrangements to a degree.
And I guess this is gonna kind of take me back to the GOAT talk here. My problem with that thought process is the fact that there was creativity in arrangements on the field. Right? Let's be honest. Paul Adams, like, what are you gonna say about a Paul Adams arrangement?
Yeah.
And a lot of what, at least during the Dr. Sanford era of, the Legion, that was all Paul Adams on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then understanding, field positioning based on the arrangement that you have. That's what made Norfolk. That's kind of still what makes Norfolk.
I'm trying to say we still do that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's but so you can be creative in an arrangement and still put it on the field. I think the problem is the fact that I'm not gonna speak for anybody. My personal opinion is I believe either people have gotten very lazy or people don't know how to take what they've tried to or what they've written for the stands and transfer it for the field.
Well, let's keep it a thou wow. And you know what's crazy about this show? This was none of this planned. But,
not at all. Because
this was not what we planned to talk about at all.
But I sent y'all the list of what we plan to talk about. We are going somewhere different. But go ahead, Quan.
but like, if we're gonna keep it 1,000, we have to then blame our predecessors. Because who to a degree, who did they pass it to? And this is not all institutions, but for the most part, who have they passed it to? I love my school. Y'all know I'm a diehard PV person. But when it comes to that music department, I have to be honest, they didn't pass it down to me. You know, like, let's be honest, the books that I have, I may, pause the video and go run and grab one. But the books that I have in regards of drill writing came from Brian Simmons from Texas Southern University. The Bill Moffitt stuff that I had came from Dr. Zachary. Southern University, Norfolk. It came from other people. So because people love my eagerness, and like Luke will always say, I'm not gonna be in a room of knowledge and not walk away with something. You gonna give me something so that I can take to make me better. But the reality of it is, we're not passing those things on to the next generation of directors, and it shows, because you only can do what you know. You only could give what you have. And I feel like, shout out to like Gary, Gary Bryant. Shout out to Tim. It's Hargrove, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are the people, Julian linked me up with him and was like, chop it up with him. So the field show, the first movement that you saw from the National Show Band was from Tim. Like, but people are not passing that on because you're not even teaching it.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Okay, so tell me what
I'm trying to gather the thought here, bro. I'm not saying you're wrong. Mm-hmm. I think it's a twofold, right? I think two things can be right at the same time.
Okay.
I do believe that they weren't teaching it. That is true. But I also think that we weren't as a collective hungry enough to go get it. Right? Like, so, and then I also think that again, we fell into that time of where the culture itself shifted. So I'll explain.
It's also not being prioritized.
Right.
People are going after likes and clicks and.
Yeah, but
yeah, let me explain both of my things, and then we can kind of get into that. So the first thing is, I just remember being in undergrad, right? Like, and again, I'm gonna go back to this GOAT conversation. Now we had a GOAT in Paul Adams, and we had a GOAT in Dr. Sanford. Like, Dr. Sanford is, the first black band director at a PWI, right, or Big Ten school, and we honestly, as a culture, I don't even think we champion that enough. But he's a drill writer from a Big Ten school. I don't know and or remember too many people from my era, at least, who were knocking down Dr. Sanford's door to understand and learn drill writing. Like we did it, and we may have had a basic concept of what that looked like, and then we may, as educators or future educators or whatever, went off to go and try to imitate it ourselves as band directors. But I don't remember too many people knocking down the door to figure it out. I would definitely say the same thing for Paul Adams. I was a student arranger, my last year in the band. So I had the opportunity to be under him, Paul's, to learn some things, as much as I could. I got to throw at least one in there. But I don't remember seeing a lot of people unless they were a student arranger. So like myself, Sebrin, I know Will Biddings came in every now and then. You know, like a handful of people. Chris Ogre, I know he would come in a lot. Like, but I can only name a handful of people who were hungry to go and get it. So I think it's partly that, and then I think the other half is because we went into the shift of the culture, those who did have that information got pushed by the wayside, and it became not as important. So I believe that you're right, but I also think it's more to it than that. So yeah.
So again, two truths can be right at the same time. You dig, depending on what lens you're going, looking at it through. So I do believe that you should seek all things to make yourself better. Absolutely. But I also believe that how do you know what to look for if you've never been exposed to it? Like you and I have now attended PWIs. Those, who know I'm at U of H. Some of the things that they even place in front of their students wasn't even thought of, unfortunately, at PV because of the resources. So it's like one hand wash the other. It's like there should be a class literally that speaks about, hey, this is a band director's course. I know you want to focus on, XYZ and cranking, yada, 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 but do you know how to put a program together for concert band? Do you know how to write a drill? XYZ. Those things take place, at the University of Houston. It's a Win literature class where they walk through that. They do have a drill writing class where you sit down and be like, if you have, 37 kids, how do you make a show that helps with sound and so forth and so on, to make you think as a director. Unfortunately, we don't have that now to add a course to a degree plan. We know that's like an arm and a leg or an act of Congress. We didn't even have counterpoint when I was there at PV at the time. But what I'm saying is, due to what we lacked in the department, we had to suffer in our job fields until we realized, we needed it. And then now, because people now, and let's be honest, these degrees are quick to get now, because you can go out of undergraduate, get your master's, and then people be like, I'm gonna go back to the college level or to be a high school director. Now you don't know how to write a drill. I think that's a part of it too. I see a lot of people, they don't know how to write drills like that. You know what I'm saying? So unless it's 8 to 5, and a lot of us run to the 8 to 5 because it's for the most part easier. You get those, this foul line, march squad, turn, you get your designs, and the crowd is like, yes, but are you pushing yourself to have a Norfolk S type drill or a Big Ten type drill? That's a different type of thinking, because if you're not facing the proper way, you won't even hear them if you have those type of numbers.
That's correct. But I think the other half of that too is, if we don't show value in a drill concept like that, then why would I want to? Right? Like, right. I think that's the other half of it.
People on this show say what we doing is unnecessary.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I feel like we can put like this, and I'll jump up off it. Pause, because that's Julia pausing. But I look at it like this. I am only where I'm at because I stood on the shoulders of giants that was previous. So I'm, so to speak, George Edwards' disciple. But what he didn't teach me is what I lack. So so the rest of it I have to get on my own. Same thing for you, Luke. You're Mr. Thornton's disciple. You carrying on his legacy. whomever was your sponsor portion, and so forth and so on. And whatever we realize we lacked, we're going to get. If band directors are not pushing, hey, you need to learn how to write a drill as a band director, when they get out of school and then they teach the next generation, they're not going to say something. Not all of them are going to say, oh, you got to learn how to write a drill. They're going to push the same thing, the only thing that they know.
I
So
agree.
while you're and still moldable, push learning how to write a drill, push pieware, push, hey, we got this drill sheet. Know your maneuvers. Start with 8 to 5. Then look at these other schools. Then I think it will be different, because the attitude of the band director, the attitude of the students comes directly from the band director. So if the band director don't give a two flying whatever about field show, and they care about stands, because if you're trying to get a book of 30 songs, but you got people that can't even pick their feet up for 45, and we got more walking bands than marching bands, who fault is that though? That's the director. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you're not wrong. Again, I don't think you're wrong. I honestly don't think you're wrong. I think curriculum has to change, right? Like and I'm not gonna say this is happening to every HBCU music program, but
Correct.
I will definitely say that if we're still trying to teach kids in today's generation like they're the kids in the 80s and the 90s, then I think that's where we got the problem. That's where the disconnect comes from, right? So yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think there definitely needs to be a shift in curriculum. So yeah, I got you.
I do want to just answer this question. I see Zach. He says, "Who's more responsible to educate you, a band director or your department?" Both. Because here's the truth: you're paying these people to give you the game.
Correct.
I'm sorry. I've seen too many PWI schools. They give them the game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about from UIL to programming to drill writing. University of Houston has all of Bill Moffat's old
all
books that don't even exist anymore. And all you have to do is be a registered student, scan your card. They literally give you gloves and you go through this man's stuff. And then they say, do you want it digitized? And you be like, yes, it's going to take 30 days. You have 40 books that don't exist no more from the people who originated drill writing in your palm of your hand. We don't even have that type of, what is it called, a repository, I believe, Luke, the proper name for it. Mm-hmm. We don't even have a lot of that in our music libraries. So when I say it is the responsibility of the teachers in your department, and as well as it's your job to still be hungry. It's one hand wash the other, bro. Like you got to know that as a Texas band director, you're gonna run into UIL, but you don't know the PML list. How'd that go? I'm just saying, I know a lot of band directors that once they walk across and we say at PV and flagpoles, they don't know what a PML list is. They don't know how to make a program on the strengths of, hey, I got better trumpets than clarinets. They don't know the rules of UIL to say, hey, you can double this. They don't know the rules where, hey, it's only 2 songs that got to be on the PML. The third one is really whatever you want. They don't know that. And so you run into situations where you're already at a disadvantage. We could get in that whole conversation, but it's you paying to get game, but you can't get game for what you don't know you lacking. That's all I'm saying.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Again, I you kind of went through that whole PWI thing and the fact of what they give you when you get there. I can tell you right now, the stuff that I was lacking was stuff that I didn't have to ask to get, because that was part of what they knew that they had to teach.
Yeah. And I'm not, let me be clear. I'm in no way saying that a PWI is better than an HBCU, because I feel like HBCU made our character and who we are as people. But when we speak about resources, it's something different. And resources different, bro. They different.
I agree. Hold up.
and they share with each other.
I agree.
There we go.
You know, that's a whole different story we didn't talked about before.
They
That we
share with,
all beefing for no reason.
and I must say this: he in the chat. Chuck has given me books that don't even exist anymore. Luke is sharing information that don't even exist anymore. I got books that I share with people that don't even exist anymore. So I'm just saying, the knowledge is out there, bro. You do have to seek, but you got to connect with the right people. And let me tell you something. You know, man, I thought I'm gonna just say it. I thought, you know, we be having debates about DCI, HBCU. Man, them people really be respecting HBCUs, but they don't understand it.
Yeah.
They don't understand it. But on the cool, if you show that you a real genuine musician and you for them kids, them people will give you whatever you need. I'm telling you, they're gonna give you whatever. I'm talking about there's certain type of mouthpieces that you ain't never even heard of that they'll be like, man, I know the owner. Go and order 20 of them and tell them I sent you. Like it goes deep. It goes deeper than just, oh, we frat. Them people be wanting you to win. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
we go ahead, Portia.
I mean, and a lot of times if it ain't us, we not interested. And that doesn't make any sense. I just got connected with somebody who does core style for her to do a clinic with us doing band camp this year, because we're going to incorporate some of those tricks, those tosses, those things. That doesn't make us, we still going to be the Silkettes, but we can't learn. We can't grow. We can't take nuggets and information and gems from anybody else. That's crazy. But that's how a lot of us think, that we have to do just this thing, that, you know, they don't understand us. We can't gain nothing from them. And that's just absolute nuts. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah, me and Kuan talked about that once before on the phone. I started to find that frustrating.
Absolutely.
And it took me to really immerse myself, you know, within different spaces to really understand how frustrating that conversation becomes. Because the things that I learned from teaching drum corps. And I learned that from a bunch of people that didn't look like me. And it wasn't that I literally asked them. It was just pure conversations. And that, again, going back to Quan's point, and that's not to say that we don't get anything from HBCUs, or HBCUs are lower than or less than, because me walking into that space, the reason why I was able to teach drum corps for 3 years straight is because when I started teaching, they were like, dude, this dude knows really what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we're not being educated, but there is a level of information that we're just not getting. And they are so much more open to be able to give it. It's not like something that they like, no, I got to hold this close to the chest because I want to be the best. No, they don't rock like that. It's just like, hey, it is.
Because we all can be good. We all can learn and we all can grow. And it's not going to diminish your learning, your growth, your product, your band. We can all win. And if we are able to learn things from one another at the end, what's the problem with that?
See, I don't disagree. I want to jump on what Zach just said. I think the problem with that, Zach, the truth of the matter is, yes, it is for them to be able to build the curriculum, and then we go and ask. The problem is that they build their curriculum off of the things that they know you should know as you step out into where you're going to. Right? I feel like sometimes our curriculum would be really baseline. And I think that's, to me, in my opinion, sometimes where the disconnect comes from. Again, I didn't have to ask them for certain information to get. They gave it because that was part of their curriculum. They didn't hold it back. They didn't say, well, I'll give them this much, but if you want to learn the like real stuff, you got to come and ask me. Like it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not gonna sit here and say that every HBCU is like that. I'm not gonna say that every music department is like that. But I mean, being in the space, man, I've seen people who just didn't know, and you're coming out of school, so that means that you were not prepared when you left school. Whereas, you know, I've had the pleasure to be around a lot of different people. I've seen people who've come out of school from, you know, other institutions, PWIs or whatever, and they have a wealth of knowledge. And these are not people who are like, yo, I went and bugged my professor to death to get this information. No, this was what part of the curriculum that they learned.
Not to cut you off, bro, but
Oh, you got
I
it.
add this. When you graduate, for like I know Zach, you still in school, but anybody that's listening that's still in school as a music major, if you don't know about NAFME, if you don't know about your respected state standards, if you don't have a curriculum walking into class, if you a band director and you don't know, just because you get a 3C or 7C trumpet mouthpiece, that may not be the best. Um, Standards of Excellence may not be the book for you. Foundation for Superior Performance, I recommend it, but that may not be the book for you. Uh, I'm saying these things because guess what? When I walked out of PV, unfortunately, I didn't know nothing about that. You see what I'm saying? Sound Innovations may be the book for you. The question is, though, what did you pay all that money for if you still have to be tried by fire? It doesn't make sense. And I think sometimes as African Americans, as Black people, we feel like we have to get it out the mud when another person already did the work for me. And they really gonna hand it to you and be like, "Hit a book, bro. Just study this." How many times, like by your sophomore year, some of these other institutions, not all HBCUs, but some of these other institutions, they already passing their music certification test by their junior year.
Mm.
They start they start student teaching. All they got to do is pass their PPR before they graduate. They graduate certified. They don't have to worry about alternative certification programs and so forth and so on. What I'm saying is they only can do what they know, but it's other things that have taken place that has transcended what they know. That's why you have these music conferences. That's why you have these networking instances. Like Portia just said, I'm going to look, if I look at this DCI, what can set me apart in this HBCU realm? So guess what? If it's a Portia made next, she said she got 16 people. She may have 8 people with a flag and the remaining people with a rifle. And guess what? She's set apart completely. Somebody gonna hate at first, huh?
That ain't gonna happen with the Legion, but I get the example.
I know it's not appreciated, but see, you always be you kill my vibe, bro.
I'm sorry, brother. Brother.
Shut up. Nah, but it's like, but if she did that, technically you made history. You the first rifle corps in HBCU history. What I'm saying is, it's like we be so stuck on tradition to where we not willing to learn, and we feel like, oh, that's white. That's really what we be saying. Oh, that's white.
Yeah.
Man, we really we strong arming ourselves, bro.
And I don't agree with that because they be doing some stuff, okay? If you are a color guard instructor in the HBCU realm and you not looking at what they doing at WGS and all these other DCI competitions and stuff, you crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because, man, let's keep it a real.
That flag across the chest thing that we do, that everybody is starting to do, that came from DCI.
What's crazy is, bro, if you really sat down at a DCI show, look at these schools such as Carolina Crown and these other programs, bro, the clarity, articulation, breath support. If we just took the pedagogy, see, that's the thing. It's the techniques. They look at our style like, hey, we rock with what y'all doing because they can't do dance routines like that. But we not trying to jazz run across the field either. They respect the art. But it is, if you're not seeking the best approaches to specific things, you're not educated in. We it's like all we know is what we know, and I'm cool with that, and I'm not cool with growing anymore. That's our problem. So I feel you with the about attacking the monster, Zach. What you said about curriculum, but you can alter some of that slowly but surely. But you got to sit down and get the masses who really run the department, the students. If the students honestly did enough surveys and was like, okay, I got music 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got analysis 1, 2, 3, but I don't know how to arrange. How'd that go? I'm gonna be a band director, but I don't know how to drill right. I don't know how to make a program. Some of that could be your final project. And then I'm gonna say this lastly, outside of the band director stuff, we really need to be working on academic writing. Now that's a whole different subject that we don't want to tap into.
Man, if you don't use
Because
Chat GPT, man, to get done with it, I mean, just saying.
and you're going and you're gonna be sitting in front of the plagiarism board too. I'm just saying, right. It's like it's we can't keep speaking about black excellence, but I'm still doing my old things, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. Real talk, we need a class about band directors, etiquette and professionalism.
Band staff, the whole
That
thing.
we need to talk about finances. We need to talk about accounts. We need to talk about administrative work. We need to talk about uh how to like lessons on how to deal with parents.
No, we don't, because
But I'm
maybe
talking
band
about,
directors.
yeah, band directors do because here's the truth. From a personal standpoint to a like this my band program. These are standards. How to put things in writing. How to sometimes generalize your writing to where you don't get in trouble. How to have a standard or a code book or a book of ethics or whatever the case may be. Like there's so much more. You're a business when you're a band director and you're the CEO. Grant
Yeah,
writing,
yeah,
all
that's a
that,
good one. Yep.
man. Like it's outdated. You done studied Bach, Beethoven, Schumann, Schubert, and Wagner, and they got nothing to do with your job. Nothing. That's all I'm saying, bro. We got to do better.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think the other half of that too, and I think it was probably said in the chat earlier, or maybe not. I think we go into college as young black children with rose colored glasses on, right? Like, in my opinion, like when we now specifically, in my opinion, more so often than what it was back then. The mindset is I just want to get my band and crank up. So let me hurry up and get what I need to get. You know what I'm saying? Teach me what I needed to learn so I can get my band and crank up. You know, and again, let me say this. I want to make sure I say this before I say what I'm about to say. This is not an indictment on anybody who has middle school marching bands, because I know that is a cultural thing in Louisiana. But I will also say this. I also know that because you may not have got much out of your university and all you wanted to do was crank up, that's a lot of reasons why you go to the middle school and create a marching band. Again, I ain't saying that for everybody, but it is for some. Because oh no, go ahead. I said go ahead, and I was about to start talking. No, go ahead though.
I just want to say, hey, whoever Trail C is, since you say you was writing drill since like 12th grade, I don't know how old are you now? Get my information, bro, and teach me. That's how easy it is for me. So before you leave, slide your information to Luke. I'm gonna get you mine, give you my email address, and we chop it up and teach me, bro. Because I'm gonna be great because I'm hungry. So, but continue, bro. Middle school band director. I didn't mean to cut you up.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I'm not saying that that's everybody, but the truth of the matter is, when all we want to do is I want to crank up and go back to my high school or go to somebody's high school and put together a field show, you know, 16, 16, 32, whatever, on the field, all right, full formation, crank it up. All right, let's get back in the stands and crank up. Well, I didn't get that high school, so now I got to go to a middle school. All right, now I get to middle school. All right, let's see what we can do. Let's create a marching band. It's unfortunate, but it's a harsh reality. And I think it's also because we're not getting everything that we're supposed to get at the university level. Again, I credit a lot of what I got, from Texas Tech to my professors. And to be very honest, they knew I was struggling when I first came in. They knew I was. My professor told me straight up when I took his course the second time. He was like, Luke, he ain't called me Luke. He said Julian, but he was like, I realized, the first time that you came into the class, there was a timidness about you, and I could tell that you were uncomfortable. The second time you took this class, I can see you were very sure of yourself, and you really, really embodied what was going on, and you felt a lot more comfortable. And after having that class, he recommended me for my PhD. Now, there's a lot of reasons why I didn't do it, but he really wanted me to get my PhD because he felt like I had a lot that was in me that he wanted to help pull out of me. And he felt like the PhD was a route for me. Hence the reason why the podcast started in the first place. There was another teacher, a professor that I had that was very instrumental in getting me to understand data and how to process data and what we're doing, in our position. And she told me straight up, she was like, look, you got a lot of knowledge, but you are missing. There's some gaps that we need to connect.
I also feel like this. There's classes on setting up band rehearsal, like what a rehearsal supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Like I never, and I always have to give him credit. Shout out to he's Dr. Nicholas Thomas now, but at the time after Prof. Fay passed away, he came from FAMU, and Prof. Thomas, Dr. Thomas, he was running band rehearsal for that week, and it was the first time I ever was in band. We got out at like 8:30, and we didn't even know what to do with that much time. Because normally we would be practicing to, 11, 12, wee hours of the morning. That man walked up, that too, maybe 3.
That's crazy.
During Cotton Bowl 4. Dog.
That's insane, bro.
I'm just telling you, with God love. He had got a piece of paper. He said he had a program on how rehearsal is going to go. He said, we're going to go through these 10 songs. Measures. He was like, the first song we're gonna do measure blah 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 blah. And we're gonna go on the field show. We're gonna go do this set to this set. Let's go. And by 8:30 we'll be home. Like we'll be home at 8:30. And I was like, who is this dude? And I thought he was like my godfather at the moment because it was a well-oiled machine. What I'm saying is that needs to be taught as well in school. Looking at your kids to see they already burned out, they tapped out. Practice got to be over. How to try to, I was talking about it earlier with flow, how to be intentional, how to be focused, how to correct on site, and then go home. Band practice should not be to the wee hours of the morning like we were, because you didn't plan your field show. You didn't mark out your sketch. You didn't score study properly. You didn't score study for these danger areas and these messed up rhythms, or that you know that this chord will go be out of tune, so you got to tune it like this. We don't even do that. We didn't even have a harmony director in those. Like we didn't do that. Like how to pace your week.
So basically, what you're saying is you had extra time when a lot of babies were made.
Oh, I'm like, wait a minute. I ain't said that.
Hey, he said he ain't know what to do with his time. So, you know,
Oh my God.
you gotta do something. I'm just saying. But no, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong in what you're saying, because I mean, you're right. You're right. Chuck kind of put it in the chat too. We wasted so much time.
And that's why people failed out.
Time.
Let's keep it 1,000. And how many people failed out of school because of that? Because they didn't have the discipline. You out to practice at 12 o'clock. You know when you get back to your dorm room, you're not going to sleep about 3, but you got a 10:30. Like some of that we were wrong, but that was the old way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was the old way of marching band. Now during band camp, kill it. Earn your spot. Be that how late as you want. But what I'm saying is, when school starts, if you don't have a plan, come on, bro. Come on, dog. Come on. That's all I'm saying. And when you're a high school director in the state of Texas, you only could practice 6 hours a week, according to UIL rules.
Did they change it? Because it used to be 8 hours.
It may be 8, I think, but I think it's 6 though now. And during band camp, you could once the sun rises, you gotta go inside.
You gotta, yeah. That's a new one. That's a new one. It didn't used to be that way. They used to say that you can only practice for like 20 minutes and then you had to take water breaks.
My question is, how does that prepare them for the heat that they're gonna be in at football games?
Most of your games are at night.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I can count on like maybe one hand the day games that I had in the heat of the day. But they're very rare.
Yeah, your games will never be at noon either.
Yeah.
They'll never be at noon. They'll never be at like 2. And if it's a Saturday game, 9 out of 10 is gonna be at 6 while the sun is, descending. But nah, not like that, because Texas, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
For real. It'll kill you. But
and then you get the see back when I was teaching, I put my kids out there in a t-shirt and shorts, and then I got in trouble from the principal. And they were, I don't ever want to see my babies out there with no t-shirt. It doesn't look raggedy. It look like the hood. And I was like, it's hot. What you expect? You want them to put that huge uniform on?
And then what's crazy, they'll have UIL representatives driving around your school to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how real it is out here to truly see what it is. Now, yeah, you'll march around 20 minutes back inside. You know what I'm saying? But you'll meet early in the morning where that sunrise, and you'll hear him chanting. But guess what? Going back to resources, if you don't have a field with lights, and if you have a noise ordinance, which is in most hoods, how can you practice that early? Like there's so many loopholes that you gotta find. But again, if you're not teaching that as a band director, how can you know that? That's game for free. How do I learn that? Through my other counterparts. That's all I'm saying. So I do agree with you, Zach. You do got to seek the knowledge, but if you're the smartest one in the room, better change your room, bro.
And I've seen a lot of people. I saw a lot of people when I was at Norfolk who made that decision. Who were like, "Yo, I'm out. I am not getting what I need here. I'm transferring."
Yeah.
So, all right. Where we at on time? Because I gotta try to honor their time. Because
I can give you about 15 more minutes.
Oh, we're the best.
Portia said 15 more. 15 more. All right. So if we got 15 more, I want to go ahead and pull this up. One of the things that we did talk about. I don't know if y'all went and looked at the video or not, but we're gonna try to pull this up and see. Can we get this going? Oh Lord. Oh, that don't look good.
After that, then all the kids come out, and now the kids are grabbing me to not go on her, to get on her and everything and stuff. So they keep us apart, keep me off of her. Okay. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm like, I'm done now. I'm at my max now. You know what I'm saying? And so they just separate us, whatever the case may be. And I guess she goes to her car or whatever, while everybody else is pulling me away.
Okay. All right. Now, what she look like?
Dark-skinned lady, heavy set, big chest. She had like a tank top.
Now that I use Monday service,
I was not ready for a commercial. I be trying to make sure I cue it up so the commercial daddies are not already skipped, but golly, they just said, "Nah, we're gonna keep hitting it."
Maybe dark-skinned lady.
Okay. How you doing? Officer 1, Officer Bond.
So I'm gonna take it back a ways.
And then say again. For sure. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, she does something to where she's like trying to swing at me or something like that. I'm like, no, like get up off me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then she spits on me. No. And she did it twice.
Really? Okay.
Dude.
All right. So this is a band director in Florida. And I don't know if you could tell if he was a band director in Florida, but he had that big old Bethune on his wall.
The whole
uni, right? The whole uni. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to get you in trouble with Donovan Wells. That's the old daddy though, so you know they got.
Yeah,
the
that
moves.
is the one. Yeah.
So we're coming up on we coming up on the end of school for everybody here. And I wanted to talk about this. This is the band director in Florida, and he got into an altercation with a parent. And apparently, based on the story that he tells, is that, you know, this parent is somebody who continuously has been, you know, an issue and or a thorn in his side. And so he decides, because he doesn't want to deal with the issue anymore, that he relinquishes the student from the band program. You know, in order to, I guess you want to say, keep peace. And issue ensues, and she spits on him twice, as he says. My question to you guys, and going into the chat is, has the band director and or teaching position, because we can go both directions, put people in a position to not be safe?
Is that the question?
It is.
I don't know the answer to that, because I don't. Well, who she was really looking for is for the flag coach. And when she couldn't find him, she ran up on the band director. Yeah, I watched that whole thing. As soon as I heard flag, I was like, let me see what's going on with this. I think the internet has made people think that they can do whatever they want to without consequence. And she ended up going to jail at her big age because you thought you could spit on that man because you didn't like that he told you he didn't owe you an explanation. Like, that's crazy. First of all, that's disgusting. But what I want people to also understand is you cannot bully your way through stuff. And that seems like the kind of parent that she is. They've had several problems with her. She threatening to beat the flag coordinator up and all this other stuff. And because of all your shenanigans with your child, they put your child out the band. And then to prove them right, you came up here acting a fool. And I do not, and I'm going to say this, think that men should hit women. But spitting on somebody is crazy work. And all he did was try to push her away. And she still lied about that. She say he punched me in the face.
Bruh,
Somehow
she lied so bad on that video.
she lied
She
through
went
her
and
teeth.
told, listen, if y'all haven't seen this video from beginning to end, she told a whole story to these policemen. They said, "Hey, let me go pull up the video." And shout out to the Alpha brother, by the way. But they
Did
was
you
like,
see the principal was the alpha?
right, I saw it with the little wristband on. But
Let
man,
me
they
tell you
pulled up the
something.
video and they was
They
like, "Oh
sure
yeah, she
did.
going to jail. She going to jail. She going to jail."
I'm gonna tell you, like, him and his wife, whoever that band director and his wife are commendable people. Cause what I'm gonna tell you is I'm a lot calmer than
But
I
I ain't that.
used to be. Baby, I ain't let me tell you
That-
something. You spit on me,
Yeah.
all bets, every single bet is off. I would have dog walked her. I
Yeah.
promise you.
Yeah.
Spitting on somebody is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they ain't gonna tell the police all I wanted to do was have a conversation. I would have dog walked her. I would have beat the.
She said he punched her in the eye.
Yeah.
Nah,
yeah.
You know, but my kids, real talk, my kids would have jumped her. Like real talk, my kids wouldn't even have to. I wouldn't even have to fight. My kids would have jumped her. I'd have been like,
Chuck,
beat that hoe up. I'd have been like, did that, go on jump her. Real talk.
Chuck, your wife,
just go on.
me and her share a birthday. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, bro.
She would have dog walked that lady for spitting on you. And the cop was even surprised about how calm the band director and his wife was. He said, even when they showed him the video, he said, wow, they made it seem like it wasn't a big deal, but he clearly attacked them. No, dog. I cannot even believe that you had the unmitigated gall to come up here and act like that. And then the daughter was clearly embarrassed because when you called her and told her you was going to jail, her response was, why are you still at the school?
Right. Why are you still up here? Why ain't you go home? And then the mama was like, because they were going to come and get me anyway. I was like, so you knew you was wrong. You already knew what was up.
He hit me in my eye, and all I did was come up here to ask about my daughter. No, you came up here acting crazy and ended up in jail. But she had the right band director and the right spouse of the band director. Because with me, you would not have been in jail, baby. You would have been right at whatever hospital is closest to that high school. And I mean that.
So is stuff like this one of the reasons why teachers ain't making it too long anymore?
Yes. Everybody I know that's walking away from this said it ain't the kids, it's these parents.
But can I say this though? I've experienced a lot, and I pray in Jesus' name, in the mighty name of Jesus, right now. And I'm being so serious.
I know, bro.
Like, I feel like parents know who they could handle. Like
they can do it. Yeah,
I agree.
I've sat in a meeting with a parent, and that parent was like, "Well, Mr. Mitchell, I feel like," I said, "Well, you could take you and your sorry ass kid home because he don't know how to play anyway." And then it's like once you, because like here's the thing, there was a woman at a summit years ago said the principal scared of the parents, the parents scared of the kids, the teachers scared of the administrators, and the kids ain't scared of nobody. That is true.
You forgot the school board, but I got you.
Yeah, all that. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But you got say, bro, stop doing that. This is your second time tonight, dog. No, but it's my whole thing is at the end of the day, you know who you could play with. And it's like at the end of the day, when you know your character and your worth and your value, I am gonna curse your ass out in front of the principal and dare them niggas to fire me because you're a complaining parent. And they know you. And they know you what time you on. And they know you on trouble. But I get these kids money and give these kids an opportunity. They're not just going to let me go. Because I'm a value. It's like, and what I realized with us, real talk, it's us. It be a lot of us. Or it be the entitled other people. But for the most part, when you're of value, a company not just gonna let you go, bro. And they know they can do that. You telling me you spit on a kid? That man must be really nice. He must be stern, but he nice.
Let me
And
tell you something.
so you know you could do that. Ain't no, don't play with me like
And
that.
his wife was in between them when she was spitting. Baby,
Ain't no,
mm-mm,
no way.
mm-mm.
Ain't no way.
I tell those young ladies every year, I'm not talking to your mama, your grandma, your cousin, your sister, whoever. I'm not talking about people who are not here, who don't understand the culture about anything that takes place here. You can consult them about every and anything under the sun. And if you want to talk to them about whatever the situation is and then address it here, that's fine. But don't get them my phone number because I ain't answering. If I answer it and figure it out as one of them, I'm getting off that phone. I do not talk to parents, especially at a college level. So I
Yeah.
could not imagine one of them coming up there and rolling up on me. That ain't gonna go right.
And
That ain't going right.
I gotta pray about that, like with this college level, because some of my college kids are coming back, and some of the stuff that they saying kind of had rubbed me the wrong way. It was like it was a situation where one of the section leaders told them, "Hey, you need to do these push-ups," and it was like, "Well, you doing with me?" I grabbed my student and I said, "Excuse my language, bleep this out. Hold the bleep button. Some of you
Wait,
want
wait,
it."
wait.
I said, "Who the you talking to?" You feel me? All right, you can let it go now. Because I was basically was like, "Who you talking to?" I said, "That's your leader." I said, "You couldn't have marched with me."
Nope.
She was like, "She said, hi, Mr. Mitchell." I said, "Because he's in the section. You don't know this culture." I say, "Let me tell you something. Let me hear. I'm gonna call this band director and I'm gonna ask the section leader myself. Let me hear another story." I say, "I'm gonna come up there. Hold the button, Julian, for this one." I say, "I'm gonna come up there myself and I'm gonna whoop your ass." All right, let it go. Because like
Yeah.
I'm not raising you to be like that.
But the amount of parents that now come up to that band building because they child feels some type of way is crazy work. But I ain't talking to him. I don't want. I ain't got time. But he started out the video saying she was threatening the color guard coach, and she was looking for him and calling him all kinds of slanders and derogatory name. I wish. I wish.
So how many? So this is a thought process I'm having right now. How many band or band directors do you feel are dealing with these types of parents on average? Like, what is the percentage that you think it is?
It's at least one every year. And this one is some that drag on. I'm telling you, the amount of people coming up to college is baffling to me. So I can only imagine what's happening at the high school level.
Is that happening at all colleges, or is this isolated to Norfolk? And I ain't trying to be funny. I mean, I'm gonna ask this. Hopefully.
See, Chuck just said it in the comments.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Okay. My bad, Chuck.
I'm
Shout out Monroe, Louisiana. I see you.
I'm telling you, it's a thing. We had a group of parents that used to a couple of years ago come and sit at practice and watch us.
Nah, practice is closed, baby. What you doing? Oh no,
We
what
out
is
on
you
the
doing?
field. We out on the field.
Yeah.
They would sit in their cars and look to see what we saying and how we saying. Yeah, it's nuts.
I said what I said.
This
Like
is the real thing. Wait a minute, this is the real thing.
Yes.
Did I get out at the right time? Did I leave at the right time? Because I wouldn't have been able to deal with it.
At least once or twice a season, it is parents showing up with a complaint about their child in this program.
And you know what's going to start happening? I hate to say it like this, and I don't want to make it seem like because I mean, but real talk, when it comes to this Greek life, let's roll it over. Now, I'm not saying no way that you got to be glazed, but what I am saying is it's some aspects of stick-to-itiveness that people gonna miss, and you feel entitled. That's not what's up, bro. That's not what's up. Nah, I'm sorry.
I have seen parents come up there and cuss, but they are in Miss Sanders out in recent years because they told this one boy that he need to grow up and he need to be able to advocate for himself and stand on his own. And she got mad about that.
That was the
And
first thing that Paul Adams told me when I got to Norfolk.
And
What?
grow
Paul
up.
Adams told me the first thing that I got to Norfolk. He said, "Listen, you grown here. You need to be an adult. Don't sit up there and expect for everybody to tell you something. We got signs that we post up. You need to read your own signs and grow the heck up." That was the first thing he told me.
And what I'm telling you is that lady flipped out. And Miss Sanders was like, all I'm saying is eventually college is supposed to prepare them for the next phase of life. He's not gonna always have you. Well, I ain't MFA dead yet. And y'all don't
Hey,
tell my
pause me, beat me again, Julian. Well, take your weak ass, bitch made ass son home. Have a good day. With that kind of shit.
I'm telling you. And then when she walked out, told everybody in the office to kiss her.
Well, take him home and take him home with you. Take
She
him home
did.
with
I mean, at least once a season, it is somebody coming out. Why my child got to do this? Why my child got to do that? My child feels some type of way about this. Why your child can't express that? Well, no, excuse me, your young adult can't express that. Why are you up here?
Man, I ain't trying to be funny. That's literally why, in my opinion, you gotta have parent meets and set the standard. Like I already have my vision.
We do.
Yeah, if they having the same conversations as they had when I first got to Norfolk, then they are having those conversations.
We say that.
When I got dropped off, Miss Sanders used to have the same conversation. If she's still having that conversation, we would sit inside of Wilder. Well, my freshman year, we sat inside of Wilder. We was all in them chairs, and then Miss Sanders said, "Hey, get your last little hugs and kisses goodbye to your babies. You can because when you leave, they are ours. They are adults. They are grown, and so just know that they are no longer your babies." Like that was the conversation that we would have. So if that's the same conversation they're having, and they still acting like that, oh, that's garbage.
It's a couple every year, and I just be like, I tell them straight up, I ain't talking to your parent. If they want to talk to somebody about something, they need to call William H. Bethea because I'm not. You give them my phone number, I'm not answering. This is my personal phone. I'm not talking to your mother about nothing that happens here.
My mama, see, you got to pause. Beat me again.
You gonna wear this button out?
Hey, weak ass parents. See, here's the problem. All right, unbeat me. See, this is the problem. My mama told me straight up. My mama said, "I don't care what." All right, hold it, bro. Hold it.
I'm getting a couple in so that we got some in reserve. But go ahead.
But my mama told me straight up, "Hey, at the end of the day, these people gave you money, so it's a job. Whatever you need to go through, you need to fix it because you're not coming back home. Have a blessed day." My mama was so real. My then girlfriend brought me to the airport. She said, "I'll bring the rest of your stuff when I come." I had 2 carry-ons when Southwest for free. We're not gonna talk about that right now. When it was free, I had two check-in bags. I had 2 carry-ons. That's all I had. She was like, "Enjoy yourself at band camp. You said you wanted to be in the band. You said you wanted to do this, so you gonna do it." When my mama saw me for Labor Day Classic, she didn't know what I looked like because I was dark and I was bald-headed. And at the end of the day, we don't have parents that teach life is hard. Nobody's coming to save you. And if your mama take their last breath on this side of heaven, how are you going to function for yourself? We're getting smarter with technology and AI, but we're getting dumber as humans. Like we are. We don't see nothing through. That's why I be telling these kids, like, and I don't want to get in that.
I called my mama to complain, Kuan. I said everything on me hurt, from my eyelashes to my daggone toenails. Everything on me hurt. She said, "You gonna quit?" Because I ain't raised a quitter, and this is extracurricular. You went and found them people. They did not come find you. You the one decided that you wanted to go audition. So either see it through or shut up about it or quit.
Yeah.
But I ain't raised a quitter. You have a nice day, okay? Click.
See, but again, a different generation of parents, right? Because you got to remember, me going to Virginia from Texas, and
I know.
and my mama was so dope because how I even got to Norfolk, I'm talking about for band camp, it was some people that my mama had met like maybe like a month or so prior, and they just happened to be driving to Virginia, and my mama was like, "Well, I ain't driving there, so we gonna get in with these people," and drove us all the way to Virginia. Got into our dorm, and I stayed on the 10th floor towers my freshman year. My mama walked in that room, looked around, said, "All right, good luck," and we walked out, and that was it. That was the the end of the conversation, and that's kind of the expectation, right? Like you got to survive on your own.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
I don't care what happened to me. There was no way I was calling my mom to be like, "Yo, mama, they just telling me, man."
Not
No,
only do they call, but they come up there and try to tell us what we should and should not be doing. I ain't doing it. I ain't talking to them. I'm telling you right now.
but I think also too, man. Oh, go ahead, Quan, because you look like you. Unless I need to beep again, and I'm gonna get
Nah,
mine
you ain't
out
gotta
first.
be people again. But because now we're older and we're tapping into like some of our parents' like isms. I feel sorry for the next generation of women because we raising weak men. I feel sorry for the next generation of husbands, wives, because if you think, let me tell you something. Because I survived band camp, there's other
I can
things that my
survive
wife
anything.
could survive anything.
I can survive anything.
Even at this big age, I could go into the military and say them chants that we did when we was running. I just got a lot of extra fluff, but I could lose this and be a good soldier. You know what I'm saying? Like we that's why it's like I preach band because it teaches character. I recruited a young man today. No lie. I told him to go check with his football coach, but I say, you plan on going to school? He said, yes, sir, I plan on going to school. I said, well, how you gonna pay for it? He said, I don't know. He's a sophomore going to be a junior, Portia. I said, how fast do you run? He said, I run a 4.6. I said, okay, that's not fast. I run a 4.6. And I ain't ran since band camp '09. I said, okay. I said, what position you play? He said, defensive end. I said, well, you're 5'6". I'm 5'10". The average defensive end is about 6'4". So genetics whipped your ass on that one. Sorry, you were supposed to beat me. So I said, I can't guarantee you a scholarship to even a D3 school. I said, what's your GPA? He was like, and I was like, oh, okay. So, okay. It's only a handful of schools I could get you in, but I could guarantee you get in with some money. Because of the genuineness, he signed up. And he said, Mister, I know my mama can't afford school, but I know I gotta go. I said, nah, when he leave and graduate in Jesus' name, I'ma tell him you gotta see it through. The kids that really see it through is the kids that don't want to go back home.
Yep.
It's the entitled kids, that I'ma do for them, but you never build the character. You never develop, you never know what's in you until you facing that wall.
Yep.
We got too many. Beat me, Julian, beat me. We got too many bitch ass kids. Bottom line.
And I'm gonna tell you, like, every one of them who quits, when I see them later, regrets it. But you want to be in marching band, but you don't want to be in marching band. You want to think that you can show up to a performance stepping off from that band room, getting down to a stadium, depending on how far that is, doing a complete field show, playing in the stands, coming back to that band room, doing a tunnel or entrance or whatever you term it, and you think you're gonna show up here and do that with just because you showed up to the school? That's not how that works. I don't think them or the parents realize that that would be dangerous. If you don't condition your body for those conditions, to have on that wool uniform, to have on a helmet, to march and play or march and twirl or dance or whatever, we're going to have a whole lot of people with injuries. We're going to have a whole lot of people having, passing out and doing all this other stuff.
Hey, I got an alpha. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I thought you hit the period. I got an alpha brother of mine who really believes that you don't have to do that and you would be fine.
Who?
We go to church together.
Well, he's stupid.
We would have so many people dying,
Tell him I said
out, seriously injured, because you have to condition for that stuff. I can't speak for nowhere else. I know Texas is hot, but I say all the time, my first Labor Day Classic, it was 98 degrees out there. It was hot as Hades, okay? I ain't never sweat so much in my whole life. And I can only imagine how it felt for the bandsmen who had on pants. We had on that thick top, but we had on a skirt. It still was hot. If we had not been outside, if we had not been doing that, it would have been bad. But these parents just know that they students calling them, complaining about being outside. One girl a couple of years ago called her mama and said they hazing me because she was a dancer and they kept making her smile.
So what are you supposed to do?
You're supposed to be a mean dancer?
It's not necessary to do that all day. Her face was hurting. And so
go home. That's the thing. If you don't like it, just go home. But see, here's the problem with entitlement. I'm sorry, Portia Love. I'm sorry to cut you off. But this is the problem with entitlement. This is the problem with entitlement. It's like your ego is so big because you were telling everybody back home that you was gonna be a Silkette or Fire and Ice or a $1 Million Funk Squad, to where you'll really cripple that program instead of just rising to the occasion.
Yeah, they was making her smile too much.
This is a tradition that has been here.
Did he say Fire and Ice?
Yeah, ain't it Fire and Ice? That's what y'all do.
Hot ice.
Hot ice. My apologies. Hot ice.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. This your third time, bro. I'm gonna call your hands out when I see you.
I'm disappearing. I'm gonna disappear.
But peep this, like the Legion has been in existence over 50 years.
50 years this year.
See, look, give me my shirt. So like at the end of the day, the reality is it's been 50 years since the Legion has been in existence. And you think you from your little podunk school that you was supposed to be drum major, or you the Nick Cannon of your organization, you gonna come here and think you gonna change the tradition of the Legion or the Storm or the jukebox? So you'll rather kill everything. And that's the problem with egos today. That's the problem, dog. That's what I'm saying. That's why you got to check that at the door. And I understand, because once you get to those levels, it's politics. You don't want nobody calling the president office, because the president, they like, oh, these numbers. Yeah, but it's my standard. You wouldn't even accept nobody in the university or college with a bad GPA. So I got to accept somebody with a bad mindset. It's a cancer.
You decided to be a dancer.
Old school, they would have put Vaseline on your teeth.
Facts. My question is, wait a minute, you got a dancer that don't want to smile. What did she do when she was in high school? Did they meme mug the whole time?
But see, you know what it is? She probably was one of the best dancers, and then allowed shit to happen. Excuse me, should have beat me right there. That's what happened, bro.
I thought that was the craziest thing in the world. Because what you can't do is think that you're not gonna smile at all during band camp, and then get to the day of the game, and all of a sudden your body's gonna know to do that the whole time. Like, you have to practice that.
Just like I know y'all do wings. You know what I'm saying, Julian? Y'all do wings. I tried to do that with my band and work. I did it 3 days. They was like, Mr. Mitchell, like, so now that's their punishment. I'll be like, wings. They'll hit that thing. It'll be like this. But it's
people,
like,
people struggle with it even to this day.
but what I'm saying is like, but that's your standard. That's how we march. You're not gonna come here and be like, well, no, we're not gonna do wings no more. Who are you? Shut up. Get in line, crab. And see, that's why people be treated like that. Because you want to change a tradition that's been established. Proper protocol has been established, parliamentarian. You're not coming in here doing nothing different. You're not.
But they try. I'm telling y'all, it's crazy out here. Like, I could go on. I got like a bag of stories.
Man, you brought up wings, and that gave me bad flashbacks.
Traumatizing.
Man, listen. So, quick random story. We are. I mean, is the instrument room still on the 5th floor, or that it moved? It's not.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have to go up there.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, anyway, we had to go up there to get our instruments, and while we are waiting in line, it was all of the rookie trumpets, the euphoniums and mellophones were in front of us. And Sebring was like, all right, y'all hold these wings up while y'all wait for y'all horns. And I was like, dog, so we just gonna sit here and just hold up the weight? Yes. Yes. And you sit there, you held them wings up until you got that horn in your hand. And it was traumatizing because.
But what you didn't do is go call your mama and say that
No.
made me stand in the hallway.
No, but I'm not. I can only speak for me, right? And don't get me wrong. I think the time was different too, but I can speak for me. I came from a program where you not gonna be no pump. That was the standard for the program as a high schooler that I came from. So when I went to Norfolk, I'm gonna be extremely honest, and I will tell anybody this. When I saw Norfolk, when Miss Sanders came to Willow Ridge Band Hall with that 2000 VHS recruitment video, outside of the fact that I was like, dog, they sound amazing. These ugly helmets I couldn't do. Yeah, outside of that, the next thing I said was, man, they gotta be glazing. They gotta be. And when I got there, my mindset was, all right, whatever goes down, I'm ready for it. Like that was my expectation. So I had no intent on calling my mama and saying, Mama, they doing, like, I had the mindset of, all right, let's just get it. Let's go. Because I saw, very similar to what you're saying, Kuan, I saw what the standard was. And I wanted to be a part of the standard. I didn't want to try to go and create my own rules. So that was the expectation. Yeah, you're right. People soft. And this is what happens.
That's why that girl was having them issues. Her mama all in the mix.
Yep, that's what you said. Exactly what I was about to say.
Causing all this havoc.
You literally said exactly what I was about to say. The result of that is you get mama spitting on band directors.
Yeah.
And I'd have beat your mama up in front of you.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you right now, my goal at this age is not to be fighting. But if anybody ever spit on me, it's going down.
Oh, we jumping them. Put like, and we jumping them.
I can't even imagine why you thought that was that serious to do that to that man.
Put like this. Let me tell you how wild it is. What my mama told, and you met my mama. Portia, you got to meet my mama too. You met my mama.
I got to see your mama again.
Pause.
Yeah. No, I ain't mean it like that.
Oh, yeah,
you know I ain't mean it like that.
I know you did it, but I'm just saying though, it's like I'll do the world out you, you know. But no, right. It's like I had met Dr. Griggs, peace be unto him, and I met Fred. And my mama looked that man straight in the face and said this was got to be like 2004. They had just won the championship, SWAC championship. LSU had won the national college thing. So they had a parade called a tournament of champions, something big. Man, my mama had seen him and says, "Hey, my son, want to be a drummer, in your band program. But I know what y'all be doing. And y'all better not put it." My little mama, who's 5'4", say, "Y'all better not put a hand on my child." Dr. Greg said, "Well, ma'am, this is not the program for your child. You have a blessed day," and walked off. People not playing. Not. I'm not agreeing with the glazing, but if that's your standard, whatever it is, if practicing at those times is your standard, then that's your standard. That's what make you great. What I'm saying is we have taken the not just autonomy, but the prestige, the honor, the I earned this. I don't even know what. Come on, Julia, you went to college too. Help me with the word. Like it's like I earned this. I didn't deserve it.
So
but
Portia didn't go to college. I was the only one that could have helped with that.
Because we've been arguing all night. I picked the damn one.
That's fair. My bad.
But it's almost like this is like college bands used to be a thing of like I want to be in that. Whatever.
But I think it's beyond that. I think college in general used to be the thing that helped prepare people for life. You know what I'm saying? And in order to do that, they need to be able to advocate for themselves, deal with whatever crisis may arise and all of that. But I think that generation of parents, and it's really us, saying that they want to save their child from everything, I think is doing everybody a disservice, because eventually the parent won't be there. And then what? What's going to happen when your mother cannot do these things for you? When your grandma, whoever, cannot step in every situation? I really feel like that's some of why we see all of these people who have anxiety and mental health, because when you should have been learning from not getting everything you apply for, not placing first, those coping mechanisms, I say it all the time, these people have zero coping skills. They don't know how to deal with adversity because it's always been dealt with for them, or there's always been somebody stepping in for them. And so it's setting them up for huge disappointment and huge issues with coping and being able to work through adversity in the long run. I've never seen so many people snotting, crying at band camp because they body hurt. So
I don't disagree with you, but I don't even think it's fully just the fact that they have people who are stepping in for them and so on and so forth. I really also think that we are in this social media age, right? Like the truth of the matter is that I've been having this conversation back and forth with a lot of people, and outside of just screen time and attention span, these young folks don't know what it means to actually connect. Right? Like us going outside when we were younger, hanging with a group of kids, probably getting to a fight with a group of kids, learning how to just fight and then shake hands and move on, or, running outside, skiing your knee, take the water hose, get the water, wash the water off and keep playing. Like that's a level of adversity too that they haven't learned how to deal with because they don't know what that looks like, right? Communicating with people within a group, learning how to problem solve within a community of your peers. Like all of those things are a problem. So even when you do get to these spaces, when you're talking about coping skills, I am struggling right now in band camp. This is a lot for me. And instead of going to my rookie brother or my rookie sister or my crab brother or my crab sister and learning how to bond through adversity, they run the mama because they don't know anything else. They don't know how to communicate any other way. They don't know how to build bonds with other people outside of social media, because if they go on and they go on social media and try to act like a social media gangster, you know what they can do? Just turn the phone off and that's it.
But I'm going to slap you when I catch you.
Why you always want to slap people? By the way, go ahead. Go ahead, Portia.
I don't know. It's just a lot. And I mean, I think it's only going to get worse. I really do. And I don't know. It's a lot. I've never seen so many people break down and cry.
Well,
I'll say whole life.
I'll say this, Portia. It is going to get worse, but you know who I blame parents. But you know what institution I blame too? Schools. I'll tell you why. These kids are smart enough because you tell them their labels because they have ARDs every 6 months. From a personal standpoint, I was raising a young man who I truly believe is a brilliant young man. But unfortunately, he learned at an early age that he had labels.
Yeah. And when you know your labels, you take advantage of them bad boys.
Let me tell you something.
Them kids know.
And they'd have learned them trigger words like I'm depressed. I'm mentally, I can't handle, I have anxiety. Yeah, no.
And so what ended up happening is preferential seating and all those specific things. What ended up happening was he learned his labels and he used them to his advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But what people fail to realize is those labels, just like if we put, just for example, Talk That Talk is a label and is a brand. And the integrity of the label or brand carries validity and weight when it goes into rooms that it does not even enter in that moment. When you have these labels, you end up believing the standard of the label. So you could be very intelligent and you know your intelligence, but because I believe this label, I'm going to use it as a crutch. So they've used it as a crutch so much to where now it's habitual.
Yep.
So I want to march for a collegiate level band, but I have XXX ADHD, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
I know so many people with it. We possibly dealing with it, but we've learned how to cope with it because why? Ain't nobody coming to save us. And we want to attain certain things that's in life. And sometimes you got to run through the wall. You can't jump over it and you damn sure can't walk around it. That's just the reality of it. The truth is, Paul, beep it, Julian. We the weak ass parents.
We are. It's us. But that's the other thing that's weird to me is because somebody put it in the comments. These kids, they can dish it, but they can't take it because they mean. They are mean. But the minute that you do something to them or say something to them that they deem inappropriate, none of that even matters. They can say whatever. And they can do whatever. That's also a product of the school system because it takes any and everything from what I'm told from people I know who teach that it takes forever. You can't fail them.
Nah,
no, you can't.
And you can't get them in trouble. You got to jump through so many hoops to get any type of disciplinary action. So then they think they're invincible.
Except in my program.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you by the time they get to me, I'm gonna tell you what, I had a lot more practice at this and I'm gonna win every single time. If it's me versus you, it's gonna be me every single time.
And you know what's crazy is when you develop, and here's the thing, when you develop a standard, they peep the environment because you know how many times parents have taken kids out of my program because they listen to me and not listen to the parent. Yeah. And they literally say, well, Mr. Mitchell, you can't run my house. And I literally said at the parent and said, well, look here, love. I'm not trying to run your household. But respectfully, what we do here, they can't do there.
Yeah.
Because the problem is you want to be their friend 80% of the time. And then you want to discipline them 20% of the time when they're in bed. It don't go like that. You smoke weed with your kid, but then when
but want them to respect you after that.
nah, you a single parent, and they see the dudes you bring around, but yet and still they don't want to. You think they're not gonna do it? Like we I ain't trying to be funny. We some sick people, bro. Like the things that I see for our community, like we need to fix ourselves, bro. Because like what we're doing to our kids and the next generation, like y'all know I'm from the hood. Cool. I like drill music, but I had to stop listening to it after a while and detox from it. Why?
Amen.
Because I realized you don't even have your frontal lobe developed, and you thinking that you could respawn like it's GTA. Everybody will crash out.
Yep.
It's crazy. When I was coming up, we respected the shooter. Y'all glorify the one that got shot.
Right.
It's backwards now. It's like people, like I heard kids in the hallway, and I know I'm getting older. They was having a whole conversation that had nothing to do with me. They was talking about, yeah, such and such snitch. I said, well, who snitched? And they was like, Mr. Mitchell, ain't this snitching? If we in the car and you driving the car and I got something on me, you ain't supposed to say nothing. I said, shit.
I'm snitching.
I said, if you get in my car and I'm giving you a ride, I'm a civilian.
Yeah. And I didn't know you had that.
And that's your dope. So you going to jail, sir. I say that's the problem. Y'all want to take quote unquote hood rules and then apply them to civilian life. You're going to jail, sir. You're going to jail. Because I'm not about to.
And I'm gonna be. I could take it even a step further. The hood really ain't even got no rules no more. If you really want to be honest,
you feel me? You feel me? No rules.
Child, it's a hot mess. Pray for us, okay? Pray for us. But I don't really have no issues. I don't really have none because I don't. Nope. I had one parent come there, and
I'm about to say you've established the program. You know the expectation is there. But I will say this because I know that I said I will give you 15 minutes, and we didn't.
In the morning when I'm tired, I'm gonna be.
Hey, no. I was gonna stay to the 15 minutes, but you wanted to keep going. I ain't say nothing. I was gonna let you have it. You got a lot
on our spirit. It was on our spirit.
Right. I had to.
When I watched that video, I'm gonna tell y'all, I was in here hollering at the screen. I said, "Oh, what? She spit on you twice? What your wife do?" I'm talking to the screen, child.
Then you got to realize too, Portia ain't been on the show for a month of Sunday, so she had to make up some time too. She had to get it all out.
I've been listening for a minute. I missed y'all, like I did.
Now I will say this before we close out. I think that after this whole Diddy situation, I think we need to change the word from glazing to something else.
Nah. Cause I'm not even. I'm gonna be close with that. Cause when I heard I don't even know if I can say it. When I heard that, I said, you know what? I thought I was kind of like a little wild with it, but I'm on the JV. I'm on the JV compared to some of that stuff. I don't even want to do it.
That brother nasty. He nasty.
I don't know. Somebody had asked me, what's the difference between freaky and nasty? I said P. Diddy. I said, because
that's a whole category at this point. Like, like what?
Right. That's why I say, you know, what he talking about, what he do is a whole definition of glazing. In my opinion. I don't know. We keep using that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dog. It's like, what's crazy is, bro, so much going on in our world to where, of course, that's entertainment. But so much real life stuff is happening. Yo, the next 10 years of education.
The next 10 years of this country.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, we may be looking at soup kitchens again soon. Like, for real. And I ain't trying to be funny. Everybody that was like, I voted for this dude. And I know we don't talk about politics on this show because
they F around and found out.
Cause some things, I'm gonna be genuine with you. Some things I'm conservative on, and some things I'm liberal on. When it comes to my money, I'm very conservative. Give me all my ducats because I do believe I deserve some tax credits and different things because I work for mine. I do believe also you should forgive student loans, especially if you're a teacher. If you working in, even you, Portia, you working with kids, go and forgive them student loans. You did your community service. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, all these people in these states that receive federal funding, and he didn't dismantle education, and now you on 60 Minutes talking about, well, I voted for him, but I didn't know he was gonna take away education. He told you.
He told you gonna do that.
You just didn't believe it.
And the farmer saying, I had all these programs lined up with the federal government to produce crops, and now it's canceled. I can't believe it. I voted for him. Or here go my favorite. We are farmers, and we're gonna go bankrupt in the next 6 months because 70 to 80% of our workers were illegal immigrants, and now they're not coming.
Yeah.
But where the people that they was taking the jobs from? Where they at? Get them to come work. Where they at?
Because you didn't want them people job anyway.
That's the problem.
What it is that you thought that it was just going to impact the black and brown people, baby. You thought that you was going to be immune to those plans. You was cool with it when you thought it wasn't going to impact you. But now I want you to hold that. Because here's the other thing I'm going to tell all of them. The people that's going to feel this the most is them. We've been not being a priority. We've been making stuff work. We've been figuring it out. So we ain't new to this. We true to this. But they struggling to hold that L.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to keep getting it out the mud, y'all.
No, I'm not saying that. Hold on, I'm not saying that. I don't want to do that.
No,
it ain't
hold on. Wait. I'm sorry. I agree with you, Quan. All that kind of stuff, but Chuck just got a point. Point. PBS is canceled, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, wait a minute,
bro.
I know you effing
when I saw that, I was like, "Are you serious?"
It's a free channel, bro. It's like, come on. How they gonna know about Sesame Street?
I still watch stuff on there. PBS got some bomb documentaries. I love documentaries.
It's over now. He can't. He turned it off.
It's gone.
Yeah, bro.
Sesame Street is already on Netflix.
I'm over this.
I think it's on Netflix, right, Camille?
I'm gonna tell y'all.
It's on HBO Max.
Ain't none of it shocking me.
Eggs is $9, y'all.
Do you hear me?
Bro, when you gotta make life decisions about buying eggs, bro, I was like, bruh.
And you know what's crazy? Is I thank God every day. I make good money. I really do. But I'm pissed every time I gotta pay a grocery bill. I'm pissed.
Yeah, bro.
What did I even buy that cost me $150?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Hey, you have to remember, I got a tribe of 5.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I'm pissed off.
You should have pulled out. That's your fault. Hey, Portia, we upset about that bill. That's your fault. I'm not even like, nah, I acknowledge your side of the screen. Me and Portia talking. At this point, I'm gonna tell you, Portia,
I'm upset.
Hey, Portia, we're talking.
Hey, so you just gonna do me and my family like that, though, bro?
No. You did your family like that. You did your family like that.
Hey, listen.
Hey,
Lord
Portia,
said, "Be fruitful and multiply," my brother.
Hey, well, you did that 5 times 4.
I did. But that doesn't negate the fact that at one time the grocery list was fine for me.
Hey,
I'm different.
Hey, your name is Julian Luke, not Johnny Appleseed. That's your fault.
Hey, I followed the Lord's word.
Let me tell you something. I can't imagine what y'all spending on groceries. It's ghetto over here, and I'm pissed off about it.
But like this, Portia, I'm gonna just give you
six items be like $120. I'll be like, what?
Hey,
how did that happen?
Hey, Portia, I'm gonna give you this proposition. Real talk. If this economy keeps going in about 4 or 5 years, we just gonna go together and we just gonna bring our funds together and create generational wealth. Because that's just the only way that I see it. It ain't got nothing to do with loot. Ain't got nothing. I can stay on one side of the house. You can stay on the other.
This mess crazy. I mean, and then I'm gonna tell you, like, being single and not having no kids, they already getting me with the amount of money I make, and then these grocery prices. Please, it's ghetto.
It's wild. It's wild. Gas prices.
Ghetto.
They just,
I'm
I
telling
mean,
you,
I ain't gonna lie. I saw $3 the other day, and it shook me to my core. But it went back down to $2.86 today, so I was good.
I saw we paid $2.20 something when I was in Mississippi with my family. We was like,
But
but
see,
you got to
depends
remember that's one of the poorest.
states.
Yeah.
But it depends where you go. Cause like Louisiana, food's still cheap, but you ain't making no money for life. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna be real. Well, we might as well open up a school. That's the only way you gonna make money in education. They
Facts.
giving chocolate out.
This mess crazy.
It's just
I'm telling you, it's I every time I need food, I'm upset.
yeah. Yeah.
It's,
Facts.
oof.
All right.
And I
Well,
feel like the packages getting smaller.
they are getting smaller. I feel like what's insane with that. So when I go to the store and I buy cereal, right? So they got the regular box of cereal, they got the family size, and now there's a mega size. There's a mega size. I got kids, so I got to look at all the sizes. But the funny thing about that is the fact that the family size now is really the amount that's in the box was the original size. So you got to remember when they put the packaging in there, it's a bunch of air in there before you actually get to the product.
Yeah.
So the regular size ain't really the old regular size no more. The regular size is actually in the family, daddy, but they jack up the price so you can get the old school regular size.
Everything smaller. I don't care what you buy. It's just less of everything, but it costs more. It's ridiculous. I'm over it.
But here's the sad part about that. The only places that really is not happening. I mean, it's happening, but it's not happening. It's fast food. So like, think about it. Tell me why a medium drink at a fast food restaurant is like a large now.
Yeah, it's
like
bigger.
That part don't make no sense. I didn't ask for more drink.
Because they want you to eat that.
Exactly. They want you to put that sugar in your body so you can get fat and unhealthy so you can go to the doctor. Big pharma is a thing. I'm sorry, it is. So you can pay for the prescription drugs and so you can just keep the cycle and the system going.
Yeah, that's why that's going to always remain cheap. That's why they always put it in the hood. It's ghetto, but our homegirl, our Greek sister, our HBCU sister tried to tell these folks, and y'all bet on the wrong man. So here we go.
We got to ride this out to the next 8 years, y'all.
8?
Because the
effects are gonna be far-reaching. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Man, it's this. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Is this like a bad dream you can't wake up from?
It is, and every day is something crazier. And he just say anything, y'all. Anything.
Why you cancel PBS? They ain't do nothing to you. That's the only time you can watch
a lot of the people who voted for him though are really uneducated, and so he wants to keep people uneducated. But I truly believe that.
I just feel like that was the only thing we could watch in between the stories.
That's true.
Now it's gone. I'm really hurt. It's like Muppet Babies, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers. Damn, he rolling in the grave.
But you understand the roots of that. That was created to help underprivileged kids learn. Yeah. So anything that is geared to help people that he feel like we shouldn't be helping, he getting it out of there.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. Shutting down PBS was just to me is equally as bad when Nickelodeon shifted from Universal Studios to California.
I agree. The
Like
content went left.
it went completely. It was just kind of like Nickelodeon don't even exist to me no more. It's just not even the same. It's just literally childhood everything, education, connection, just anything that makes you feel like a true child, a kid. It's all gone.
Every night I just pray and say, God, I know there's a lesson in this, but dude.
Golly.
But on the flip side, that fire had burnt that place down in Louisiana.
Oh, that plantation?
I ain't gonna lie. We could trace our family plantation back. It wasn't too far from it.
And y'all cousins was out there taking pictures and whatnot. I said, look at us.
Because I ain't gonna lie though. We the only people in the South that celebrate that. Like that old way. Like they still got parishes named after them people. Like there's a Jefferson Davis parish.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody said nothing about that. Like
they said it's part of history.
Yeah, not a good one. And honestly, us too, like as black folks, we celebrated to a lot.
Yeah, because I had a cousin get married on a plantation in Richmond some years ago, and my daddy sat there the whole time talking. Why is we here?
Yeah,
why did we come back here? This is doomed. Why would we want to jump a broom here? My mom was so mad at him, but he was like, "This is stupid."
And then we always say things like, "Well, you know, this is where we fought, and they didn't want us here. Like we don't belong. Like we're talking, we really don't. Some of us belong here because there were natives and black folks here before. Really research history,
True.
But a lot of us ain't from here. A lot of us really not. A lot of us really not, bro. I don't want to get to talk about the original people and all that, but it's like our history is far more than sugarcane fields and I do say this. I do recommend people to go see Sinners. There's certain
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Go see
it. I may pull it up this weekend because I don't go to the movies no more.
For real. Go see it. I saw some.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like there's a scene in it, and see that's what I feel like a lot of people of other nationalities is trying to stop us from seeing. We really are great. And I'm gonna say this, and not to get off the soapbox. I know Portia got to go to bed. Me too.
I had to go to bed about an hour ago. At this point,
yeah, I'm gonna be hurt in the morning.
I just want to say that I tried to keep to the schedule, so it's not me.
Because I got my haircut appointment in the morning. But no, here's the reality of it. When I'm starting to realize from my revelation in my time of prayer, God really has placed everything in you to change and transmogrify the world as we see fit in you. The problem is either you're going to be willing to go through what it is to become that version of yourself, to be it, or you're going to just sit there with your wishes. But he really doesn't tell you no. And I feel like as a people, we're stuck in the slavery mindset of what we was handcuffed to be and different things, when it's like he's placed the visions in you. He's given you the resources. He given you the vision of the table. He already gave you the tree. And that's why I look at like how it relates to band. He's given us programs such as the Legion, such as the Storm. But people don't want to go through it to be a part of the vision due to labels, due to these things that we see that handcuffs so that you cannot walk in your excellence. It all encapsulates the same thing. I just feel like, bro, as a people, bro, we just need to do better.
I agree, but I think I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think a lot of times though we use we use that as our crutch to not be able to move forward, instead of using it as the springboard to move forward, right? Like we hold on to it so hard that we try to keep the idea of it alive and the tradition of it alive, that we keep saying that we need to go back to the way that, or think about moving in that specific space and saying, okay, this happened. Now, like you said, we have the, going with the Coach Prime, we got the blueprint. Now let's move forward. So I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. All right, we got to get Portia out of here, because if we don't, she gonna start dozing off and kicking her feet, and we don't want her to do that. Yeah, I didn't open the chat today, or the line today, and really it was because I was trying to make sure I saved time, but that guess didn't pan out the way we wanted to. Not to mention the fact that we didn't even talk about all the stuff that I plan on talking about. So hey, but that's the beauty of what we got going on here. So, Kuan, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture? Hold up.
FTK. No. Hey man, shout out to all my seniors that are graduating. Oh, I love it. It's getting harder and harder. I love them. 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 They're going to various institutions. I got kids going back to my alma mater at the Prairie View A&M University. I got some kids going to Langston. I got some kids going to TSU. And I still got some kids that are still trying to figure out where they want to go. Some of them are interested in Alabama State and so forth and so on. But I do have, I don't know if Julian has it. I can send it to you real quick. I don't know if you can post it. But I do have a fundraiser, a double good fundraiser that's going on right now. And we're actually trying to raise funds to get these kids to get to the various institutions that are out of the state. So I'm actually going to rent a van and literally drive them there, because they have no other way to get there. So not only that, I'm building better bands, I'm making, oh, they can't see it. It look crazy. You want to play the video?
I'm gonna fix it. Give me a second.
Okay. But yeah, I'm raising these funds so I can rent a van and actually drive them out there. I'm driving kids to Langston and wherever they need, and all of these funds will go 100% is going directly to these students. It is through my my lodge, through our consistory, and so all of the 100% of these funds are going towards these kids. I don't care if it's groceries, if it's noodles, but we gotta look out for our own kids, and so this is what I'm planning on doing. So please support. We only have like 2 days left of it. Again, we trying to get as much as funds as we can. If you can, please share it as well. I'll send it to Luke, and Luke, I'm pretty sure he's going to repost it. But do what you can with it. And again, I'm getting these kids to college, buying their dorm room stuff, and just trying to give back to our people.
All right, Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
I just want to say to all my educators, y'all are superheroes. I couldn't imagine doing your job. And I just want to say, stay the course if that's what works for you. We cannot have future generations without you all, but I just want to say shout out. I know you're getting to the end of the year, but you are appreciated. I am you all's biggest cheerleader, because I don't know how y'all do that every day, but shout out to y'all.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely very nice. I'm not trying to say it like that. But no, I will say this. I definitely will say this. I do miss being in the classroom. There are things that I truly, truly miss about being in the classroom. And so I definitely can say that I agree. Got to get to the end, the final race. Everybody is in different spaces right now. My kids in this district where my kids are at now, all of them this is their last week. I know a lot of different districts still got 2, 3, 4 weeks to go. But
bruh,
what? What I do?
I got 3 weeks left. I got 3 weeks
Ooh.
left.
Oh, you got 3
3.
weeks? God.
3.
Dang.
Graduation
bro.
is June 7th, bro.
You said June
Dang.
27th?
June 7th.
Oh, June 7th. My bad. Golly. Well, either way, God dang, that sucks.
That's why I said that, because I know some people are ending, but some people still got a ways to go.
So yeah, man. But I definitely just want to say, man, you know, keep staying the course, man, and y'all gonna get there. Y'all gonna get there. Is this the one you wanted me to play?
Yeah, you can play it, bro.
This is your band director and commander-in-chief, Kuan Mitchell. We will be having a fundraiser supporting the 18 seniors at Worthing High School. This fundraiser purpose is to ensure that students transition to school comfortably. All of the funds, 100%, will go towards their dorm room items, food, groceries, and everything in between. Please support.
Woody.
Hey, what's up?
I just saw your shirt, man. You know. All right,
That's what it says.
Yeah, I know. Dang, how did I get on this one? It's Mitts. That was an accident. All right, anyway, man, outside of that, though, man, first thing first, I definitely want to say, man, I appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget, you can get anything in our store. All you got to do is find whatever you like. Click on it, and you can get 30% off your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band. Also, don't forget, the Fuel Your Passion Scholarship Fund is still available. It is still up and rocking, and we are not stopping. Dang, that rhymed. I didn't even mean to do that. Anyway, but all the information for that is inside of the description, so go ahead and check that out. Remember, we are still taking donations. We do not have a cap on it, but go ahead and check it out. Also, man, I kind of said this recently on an LBR, and I kind of want to say it again. I've been getting into looking at more, you know, checking out more high school bands and so on and so forth. And so on Friday, I'm going to be going to what? Hold up. My bad. Hold up. Did that work?
Did what work?
What?
There we go. I was talking to my wife in the kitchen. She was talking to me. Anyway, but no, on this Friday I'm going to be going to do my first high school band director interview, and so I'm gonna be dropping that within the next week. So I want you guys to check that out, man, because I really want to start highlighting high school band programs, and not even just the programs, but the directors themselves, because I will say this. There are a lot of high schools out there that don't get a lot of shine. Yes, there are some great high schools out there that do get the limelight, and I think that's dope. But I also think that there are some directors, there are some programs that definitely need to get their shine. And so because of that, I want to kind of start this crusade. Now, that does not mean that I'm giving up on the HBCU bands or anything like that, but I do want to bring the high school bands inside the fold. So I just wanted to put that out there. So be on the lookout for that, man. Other than that, this has been super dope. Portia and Kuan are half sleep or what?
Hey, we have a gym battle Saturday at Stephen F. Austin, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Please be there. Your boy is truly gonna be there. We're gonna have some fun at this one. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna have some fun at this one. Worthing, Westbury, Marshall, Austin, Milby. I think maybe one more, but we gonna have fun. We're gonna close out the year in fun. And we gonna sound good. I ain't gonna lie. We gonna sound good. So I look forward to it.
Are you playing any of the things that I sent you or no? You like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. You're the chief arranger. Shut up.
Oh
So,
God.
but also, remember I talked to y'all about the other week about that enrichment camp that is still taking place. So June 2nd through 6th is going to be, as of right now, is Worthing, Westbury, Madison, Yates, and Sterling. We just having the enrichment camp. You know, I didn't want nobody to have no confusion because things were said that we were starting a mass bang. We're not. We're only having an enrichment camp. So
thank you for clarifying that on live. All right, so please stop going around spreading bull crap that's not true. There we go. All right, Outside of that, man, we
Beat the
appreciate
button.
y'all. Huh? Oh, wait. Okay.
Beat the button. With y'all lying asses.
I didn't have a button up. My bad.
I don't care.
I know you don't. All right, man. We love y'all, man. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.